Hello guys, this is Divya Jyoti and I welcome everyone back to my YouTube channel that is the Techie's Voice. Today in this video, we'll be learning about SQL languages or statements. Also, we'll be discussing about different types of clauses. Now, before going to all the SQL languages or statements and types of clauses, you can see here in the screen Rakesh, Rakhi, cake shop, perfume shop, boutique and Worcester is there. You might be wondering why these all are present right here. Now, before telling you about all this, let me go to the application and show you something. Guys, as you remember, set lines 100, page 100. Guys, hundreds are not mandatory numbers. You can change the number as per your requirement or as per your representing the data. It's written basically so the table of the data which is being presented in the screen comes in a proper or a well organized manner. Now, if you see here, I'll write select star from EMP. This is called as select clause and this is called as from clause. Okay. Now see, select all the data from employee table. Okay. Now you might be wondering which clause is executed first and why is it so. Now here from clause is executed first, then the select clause is executed. Okay. From clause is executed first, then select clause is executed. Now, whatever theory I have written here, I'll explain you with the help of the given diagram, whichever I have shown you previously. Now let me go back because it's not a query, it's a statement. Now let's go back here. See, Rakesh and Rakhi, they are brother and sister. Now, Rakhi tells Rakesh, Rakesh, please go to the cake shop and get me a cake. Okay. Now, what Rakesh will do? Rakesh will obviously go to the cake shop. Okay. Rakesh will obviously go to the cake shop and he will definitely get some cake, whatever Rakhi told. Now, Rakhi is passing the command to Rakesh that Rakesh, please go and get some cake from the cake shop. Rakesh visits the cake shop. Now, when you in the normal day-to-day life, when you visit a cake shop, you find a variety of cakes. Like vanilla is there, strawberry is there, chocolate is there, caramel is there, and other lot of things like some you might find some nowadays some gulab jamun cakes comes, all theme cake comes. Now, what he'll do? Now, what he'll do? He'll first ask. He'll first ask. Like obviously nowadays in the competitive world, you find n number of cake shop in a particular area. Suppose, let me tell you, this is a place, and you find here is a cake shop, 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 here is a cake shop. Now, there are a variety of cake shop in a particular location. This is one is the first cake shop, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now, when Rakhi commands Rakesh or Rakhi tells Rakesh that go and bring me a cake from the cake shop, Rakesh will obviously ask, from where do I go and get the cake? Shall I go to the cake shop number 1? Shall I go to the cake shop number 2, 3, 4, or 5? Rakhi will tell, go to shop number 3 and get me a cake. Now Rakesh will go to shop number 3. Now Rakesh will go to shop number 3 and he reaches here. From shop number 3, remember, from shop number 3, I repeat, from shop number 3, So the first word is here it comes is from. Okay, from shop number 3. Now here Rakesh, go and see here. There are variety of cakes. As I told you, vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, caramel, then other types of pastries, then theme cakes. Many cakes are present. Now he's in confused which cake to select. Now Jackie has already instructed you go to the third cake shop and get me vanilla cake. Getting basically means select vanilla cake for me. Now what he does is then he selects vanilla cake. Now here you see from where and what to select. So from cake shop number 3, select vanilla cake. Hope you guys are clear with that. Now let's get back to the particular SQL statements. Okay, let me open another paint. Let me keep that for some other purpose of explaining. Now, so as I told you, the SQL language or statements. There are 5 different kinds of SQL languages or statements. There are 5 different kinds of SQL languages or statements. Now, the very first statement is data definition language, that is DDL, data definition language, that is DDL. Now, second we have data manipulation language, which short form is DML, data manipulation language, DML. Third we have transaction control language, TCL, transaction control language, TCL. Now we have data control language, that is DCL, on the fourth point. Data control language, DCL. In the fifth we have data query language, that is DQL, data query language, that is DQL. Now under the specific languages or statements, we have sub clauses. So the very first thing we have under data definition language is create. Let me put it in other color. Create, rename, alter, truncate, and drop. Now, if you want to remember this create, rename, alter, truncate, drop, you can just short form like CRAD, like CRAD. T is silent over here. What I am pronouncing, it's CRAD, like CRATD. Okay, so you can I remember like this. You can remember in your own how you used to remember, how you used to take short notes. So you can remember as per your whatever like you feel what is easy for you. Now under data definition language, DDL, let me I tell you, we have create, rename, alter, truncate, and drop. Then under DML, that is a data manipulation language, I have insert, update, and delete. Insert, update, and delete. The short form UDI. UD. Now under transaction control language, that is TCL, we have commits, save point, and rollback. Okay, I have commit, save point, and rollback. And I have here short form as SCR as the short form. As the short form. Now under data control language, that is DCL, we have grant and revoke. We have grant and revoke. And under data query language, that is DQL, we have select, projection, selection, and joins. Guys, joins is a big topic which we'll be discussing in our upcoming videos, but not in the same video. So I'll definitely be uploading joins in a very nice way so you guys can understand, because joins is something which comes in it comes every time in the interview. So there are a lot of questions in joins which we'll be discussing and which we'll be doing in a practical example so you guys can better understand. So this is what now till now we have done. This is all the types of languages and types of statements. Now we'll be starting with data query language. We'll be starting with data query language. So let me remove everything and okay. Now we'll be starting with data query language and the short form is DQL. And with data query language, the very first I have select. So select is basically used to retrieve the data from the table which is present in the database. Select is used to retrieve the data which is present in the table of the database, or you can tell it is used to retrieve the data from the table which is present in the database. This is about select clause. Now projection. Projection is basically used for retrieval of data from the table by selecting the column name. It is used to select the data from the table by selecting the column name. By selecting the column name. By default, in projection, all the records will get selected. I repeat, in projection, by default, all the records will get selected. Now it comes to selection. Selection is used for retrieval of data from the table by selecting the column name and row name. So let me copy this. Selection is used to select the data from the table by selecting the column name and row name. Joins is used to retrieve data from the multiple tables in simultaneously. It is used to retrieve the data from multiple tables simultaneously. Let me give us spaces in everything so you guys can see here, because it's all the same color I'm using. Now, now let's see. Now let's see how they are executed. So you guys have seen how the select clause is executed. Okay, you have seen how the select clause is executed. Now let's see how projection works. Okay, how projection works and what it is basically. So as I have told you, projection it is used for retrieval of data by selecting the column name, and by default in projection all the data or records get selected. Now, what is the syntax of projection? Okay, what is the syntax of projection? The syntax of projection is basically star slash distinct column name slash expression in bracket alias. From table name, and this means end of query. Okay, means end of query. Now, what is the order of execution of projection? What is the order of execution of projection? Okay, order of execution. In projection, first the from clause is executed, followed by the select clause. So in projection, first the from clause is executed, then the select clause is executed. We can pass table name as an argument in the from clause. And the function of from clause is basically it goes to the database, finds the table name, and put that under execution. Okay. Now with the help of select clause, which is being executed after the from clause, will execute and pass column name or expression as an argument. And the function of select clause is basically it goes to the table that is under execution and get the data and display the data or the output. Select clause is responsible for displaying the output. Now, till now, whatever I have told you the theory about from clause and select clause, let me put that theory into a form of a diagram so you guys can better understand. So let's take another page of paint. Okay. Now let me do some diagram. Okay. Let me do some diagram here so guys can better understand. Okay. Sorry for all those notifications. Keeps coming. Now let me write the table name. Let me employee, then department, then location, and then accounts. Okay. There are four, and this is the database where are all the tables are present. Now let me take another table. We take another table and I'll take the table of something called as, let's say, I'll take as employee table, and I'll be having here certain columns and data. Let's do it here. Okay. Let me make 4 columns. Okay. Now the very first column, let me name it as ID, name, job, salary, department number. Now let me take here with, let me mention some data into the respective columns. So let me have some data here. So I have 4 IDs, sorry, 5 IDs. Name, let's take Rakesh, Raki, myself, let me take some example. Okay. Now job, I'll take as short form software engineer, civil engineer, security engineer, then here software engineer, and job is sales engineer. Okay. Salary, let me put some data, random data. And department number, let me have all department number. Okay. Now, so what I told you here is, so you guys know first the from clause will execute it. First the from clause will execute it. And in the from clause, what it does is it goes to the database and find the table and put that table under execution. If you write here select star from EMP. Now it is telling that select star from EMP. A star, as we have already discussed, it stands for select all the data from the employee table. Now what the from clause does, from clause goes to the database, search for the table, search for the table, and now here the from clause gets the employee table and put that particular table under execution. Okay, put that particular table under execution. Now, now, what the select clause do? The select clause goes to the table that is under execution and get the data and display the data or the output. Now, once the from clause is executed, now select clause what it does is go to the table. It goes to the table, get the data, okay, get all the data, okay, get all the data, and and display as the output, okay. This is basically what are the function of from clause and select clause is. Now now if you write here, okay, if you write here, let me tell you another example. Select name from EMP. What does from clause do? From clause will go to the database, select for the table, put the table under execution, and then select clause goes here, get the name column, and print all the information: Rakesh, Rakhi, Divya, Pooja, and Priya. Whatever names are mentioned under name column, it goes and retrieves all the data and display in the output This is how the select or the from or and the from clause, how they works. Now let's solve some queries on projection. And if you remember this diagram, as I told you, from which place and what to select. Okay, from which place and what to select. This is how they get executed. Let's solve some programs and some queries. Select star from department. It's telling that select star from department. So from what it does, from will go to database and select for department table and retrieves all the data. Okay, select will go retrieve all the data from department table and display in the output. Now select star from sales. Okay, sales table, or there is no table such as like this. So let me do select star from tab. So guys, if you don't have any table, it will give you error like table or view does not exist. So I have department, employee, bonus and salary grade. So select star from salary grade. See, table or view does not exist. Okay. Now sal grade is the table name, and but I have given space. That's why it is not taking. If I write it here again, select star from sal grade. See, you this gives the lowest salary, highest salary, and the grade here. Now this is how it works. This is the beauty of the query. It will retrieve all the data, and if the data is the query is not correct, it will give you an error. Now, let me write a query to display the e-name, employee ID along with job from the employee table. So select, and guys, if you do not remember what is the table names and column names, just go and write the same query again. Select star from employee. So now my question is to select e-name, employee ID along with job. Now select e-name, ID is nothing but employee number, and job is here, space from employee. You can see here employee name, employee number and job gets retrieved. Now let's write another query to display the e-name and hire dates. Select e-name, comma, hire date from employee. So from employee is the employee table. Now if the question is asked like select all the location from department table, select all the location from department table. You can get it here: New York, Dallas, Chicago and Boston. So this is about select clause and from clause, and what are the functions of that. Now if you see here, I have written some code or the query like this: select tab from employee. Okay, select tab from employee. Okay, sorry, select star from tab. You can see here it's the table name, table type and some cluster ID. We'll be discussing on cluster ID, but for the timing, the table name and this is the table type. This is the table, okay, and the table name, department, EMP, bonus and salary grade. And tab, it is used, or it's the table name wherein all the table name will be there in the database. Now we have a lot of queries on this, and if I write here write a query to display all the employee name, salary and annual salary. So select e-name, comma, salary, comma, what do you mean by annual salary? Salary into 12, correct? Salary into 12. Okay, I have not given from employee, sorry. Select e-name, comma, salary, comma, salary into 12 from EMP. So you see here, this is all the annual salary We get it here. Then, then we can have certain query like display a query which retrieves the data of employee name along with 22% deduction in monthly salary. So select ename. So guys, SQL language is not case sensitive, so you can write in small and capital letter. It will not give any error. But certain times it gives error with table name if it doesn't match. So when you write a query, be sure that the query is correct. Now select ename with deduction, 20% deduction in salary. So we have salary minus salary into 22 by 100. Okay, from EM. You can see here, guys, this is the 20% deduction in salary per month we have taken. So this is how it gets retrieved. Now, now we have discussed something called as alias when we are writing a syntax for projection. Alias is nothing but a nickname given to a column, a nickname given to a column or expression that are present in the result table. And there are certain conditions to write the alias name. So the certain conditions to write the alias name are basically with or without using the keyword we can write alias, and we can also write alias by passing multiple words as an alias name. Then it has to be joined with using underscore or enclosed within double quotes. So I'll tell you what is basically alias is. Now I'll be writing this query using alias. Now I'll tell select ename salary comma annual salary. Salary into 12 is what? Salary into 12 is annual salary as as annual salary as annual salary from EMP. Guys here, select ename salary into 12 as annual salary. Salary into 12 is now converted to annual salary, that is the nickname or the alias name. And when you're writing a long name like annual salary, just give as just give as double quotes so you can write a bigger name. And if you want, as I told you, so there is something called as underscore. Okay, something called as underscore. Let's check it out. See here, without giving any double inverted commas, without giving any double inverted commas, you can just give an underscore to join both of them, annual and salary. So they both are joined with the help of underscore, and you don't have to give any inverted commas while writing the query. So now also we have discussed there with a term called distinct. The distinct clause is used to avoid duplicate values that are present in the result table. Okay, so distinct is used basically for avoiding duplicate values, and and there are certain differences between unique constraints and distinct clause. Okay, there are certain differences between unique constraints and distinct clause. Unique constraints are basically constraints, whereas distinct clause is a clause. Unique constraints is used to avoid duplicate values that are present in the database. But in the case of distinct clause, it is used to avoid duplicate values that are present in the result table. Now, going to the very next clause, we have selection. Now, selection is another sub-language, and selection it is used for retrieval of data by selecting the column name and row name. So, guys, let's have a look into that. What is selection? So, selection is basically it is used to select the data from the table by selecting the column name and row name. So, projection we have discussed, but we'll be discussing about selection. Now, there is there is let's discuss the syntax of selection, and let me copy this entire thing. It will be useful in selection. Hope you guys are getting what I'm speaking here. Okay. Now, the same here comes here. This first, as we have discussed, from table name, then where filter condition and with a semicolon. Order of execution from where and select from where and select clause. Now, where clause is basically used to filter the records. Where clause is basically used to filter the records. Where clause executes row by row. Where clause executes row by row. Where clause will execute after the execution of from clause. After the execution of from clause, where clause will be executed. We cannot use alias name in where clause. We cannot use alias name in case of where clause because it's a condition we are providing. It's a condition we'll be providing. We can write multiple conditions in where clause. Yes, we can write multiple conditions in where clause. Now, let's go to the diagram. Okay, let's go to the diagram and see how the where clause works. How the where clause works. So let's go to the cartoon diagram we have. Okay. Now here I'll be telling here. Let me remove the arrow marks and all those arrow marks. Okay. Now we are discussing about where clause, and we know what is the order of execution. First the from clause, then the where clause, then the select clause is executed. Now Raki tells Rakesh, brother, go to the boutique and select a dress for me. Let's suppose Raki is getting married and she visits a boutique and she selects a dress and she wants Rakesh to give it to her. Now she tells Rakesh, dear Rakesh, dear Rakesh, please visit the boutique and select a dress for me or get the dress for me. Now, what Rakesh will do? He'll definitely ask. What Rakesh will do? He'll definitely ask Rakhi. Rakhi, from where? Okay, from from where shall I go and select the dress for you or the bridal shoot for you? Now, Rakhi tells from this this boutique, which is located where, like where from, where it is, from where I have to select. So Rakhi tells Rakesh, you go from this boutique, okay, from this boutique, get me a dress, get me this selected dress. So, now when you're writing when you're writing, okay, let me write a logic for or the any course query for here. Select dress. Just a minute. I'll make it more simple to understand. Select dress from boutique where dress color is white. Okay. Now Raki tells Rakesh, go to the boutique, select the dress whose color is where the dress color is white. So from the boutique where the color is white, then select it for me. Go to the boutique. So Rakesh will ask from which boutique. She tells from this boutique you go. Select me the dress where the dress color is white. Where the dress color is white. Now, taking now let's execute some query and get a better understanding. Now let's execute some query and get a better understanding. Okay. So, guys, first of all, as I discussed in the theory, okay, where clause get executed row by row. Okay, where clause get executed row by row. Now, coming to this diagram, okay, when we are writing, select start from employee. Okay, what we'll do is let me change the entire code or the query. Let me write another query. Select name. Select name from employee where ename equals to guys here, sorry, I have done a mistake. It's not is here. Okay, it will be just a second. It will not be is here. It will be equals to here. Now select name from employee where ename is equals to Pooja. Okay. Now what does from clause do? What is the use? From clause will go to the database, search for the table and put the entire table under execution Now, where clause where clause goes here into a table and finds where the name is Pooja. Where clause goes, search here in the first row. Pooja is not there. Okay. Second, Pooja is not there. Third, Pooja is not there. Fourth, Pooja is there. Pooja is there in the fourth. Now here it finds here where clause it gets the data and tell the select clause here select clause go and retrieve the data and display in the output. So it will give you the output as Pooja. The output as Pooja. Okay. Now, let's solve some query on selection. Let's solve some query on selection. Okay. Select star from employee. So guys, whatever the recently as I have done the diagram over here, let's this diagram. Let's take some example similar to this. This is something called as Alan. Let's take select all the data of Alan. Let's start from EMP where ename equals to Alan. See here, employee number, ename is Alan, and entire details of Alan gets retrieved. Now let's because see guys, there will be very huge data when you're using a real-time database system, or when you're using in the real-time projects, you'll be having a lot of data to retrieve. So let's see, we are in a banking sector and we are retrieving the data, and the company manager tells you retrieve the data or the salary of people getting the salary or the getting more salary more than the basic salary, or getting which are people having more money than the basic salary. There will be many circumstances which comes when editing the data. Now select salary from employee where salary greater than, let's take some salary as 1250. See, mine was selected and all the salary greater than 1250 are retrieved here. Okay. If I write here select star from select sal from EMP where sal less than 800, you can see here no row selected because there is no data, or there is no salary which is less than 800, so it is not retrieving anything. Now let me write a query to display all the details of the employee who are working in department number 30. All the details of the employee, filling all the details. So select star from employee where department number equals to 30. You can see here 6 was selected and all the people working in department number 30 is retrieved over here. Now let's write a query to display employee number, job, name along with department number if the employee number is 7788. Okay, select ename, job, employee number, department number. Select ename, job, employee number, department number from employee, where EMP number is equals to 7788. You can see here 7788 employee number gets retrieved, department number 20, job analyst, ename Scott. So this is how the queries are executed, and these are what the functions of select clause, from, and where clause, how they get executed. We have seen this diagram with the example of this diagram as well, and we have also seen with the example of this diagram as well. I hope you guys are clear with what is explained right here in this video. So here, you guys will be discussing on joins in the upcoming videos in a more detailed manner. But before that, also we will be executing more and more queries in the upcoming videos when I upload. So if you guys do like this video, if you have any concerns, you can comment in the comment box. And if you guys like this video, do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for any doubt, you can ping me at pdivyajyoti772@gmail.com. And I wish you guys a best of luck for your career growth. Thank you and have a great day.